Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a review on Cracker Barrel. As we're all familiar, they recently changed their logos and changed it back. And so we're not going to dive into that little snafu, but we're going to take a look at their website and see what they've changed about it because it definitely has changed in many ways, but in many ways it's also still the same. So we're looking at their brand new website right here. Now, I really actually don't know when they launched this, but I'm assuming it kind of came around the same time as the rebrand. We've got all of our normal stuff. We've got the logo and menu and search up the top. But in comparing this with their previous website, I am looking at an older version that was pulled up from Web Archive. And what we can see here is the logo between these two sites is bigger. On the older website, it's a little bit easier to see, and their entire menu space is smaller on the older design as compared to the new design. As we can see here, smaller logo, our fonts are shrunk down, and it's a little bit wider. Now, I'll admit, first time I came into this new website, I just immediately went over for navigation to their hamburger menu because I did not notice this primary menu they've got over here. It's black. It matches a lot of their primary colors, which they're using here, which are much darker, and it was just unnoticeable compared to this version. I've noticed these much easier than on their older website than on their new website. So I would say this was not the best change in the world. It still works, of course, but I prefer the old one here versus the new one. But for the most part, all the functionality is the same here. If you click on the hamburger menu, it functions exactly like it did before, other than the font changes and maybe a little bit of color changes to it. So no big deal there. That's all fine. The search functions the same way. I did notice that there used to be a give the gift of everyone enjoys kind of a little extra gimmick here for getting you to order gift cards that they don't have here, but it's possible it's just not turned on right now is all. They do have a nice little location picker, so I can put in my zip code or use my current location, and it will display it. So they have a really good location picker. Now, one of the things I kind of miss from this, I can't cancel off this. All right, so let's just put something in. All right, use my location. Okay, this needs to be you need to be able to get off of this. So that's kind of a poor design. I hadn't even noticed that. 3350. Up. 5. All right, so I'll just select one that's near me. Okay, finally got off of it. So that's kind of an annoying, but in reality, what they should have been doing probably is auto-detecting my location right out of the gate. Anyway, most of your restaurant sites will auto-detect your location for you without you having to put it in. So some people will prefer one way or the other, but for the most part, vast majority of restaurants will auto-detect for you, and you can come in here and change it at any point. So a little bit of a ding there on the new site, but I'll take it. They do have a join the wait list to order online. I do wish there was a little bit more spacing here, but it's not going to affect anything to do with online orderings. Now, one thing I did notice with the new design is we're using a lot of darker colors here. Now, this contrast that they've got going on is great, but I'm not a big fan of it on the images. And I can appreciate why they've done it because it draws out the color of the images. But if you look at the previous version of the website, they used a lot of yellows that were kind of their brand. As you can see, as I go through here, a lot of yellows, a lot of great texture going on here. And so I kind of missed that. I feel like I'm assuming that the new black, we're going to start seeing it in store more on their menus and things like that. So, yeah, it's not really going to affect conversions, but I do feel like the other one kind of felt more homey to it as opposed to this kind of little bit more modern feel. So we'll see how that plays out, but I seriously doubt it's having any impact on their conversions. What I do like, I did like this new little icon, this little barrel that they added in here. They used to have a little grommet here, which was nice for old style, but I kind of like the little barrel. It's kind of a nice little touch. Maybe they could add a little bit more embellishment to it just to make it feel a little bit more old-timey. But I think it's fine. Now, one of the things I do like here that is probably helping them out is they're actually showing menu items here. Whereas the previous website, we've got pictures and maybe a couple of items, but that's about it. There's really, these are all specials that are going on. There was no menu items being shown. Yeah, we've got pictures here, but here I can go straight to these menu items, which from a conversion standpoint, I'm assuming they're showing their top items here, hopefully at the time of day on when they're most ordered, like special lunch specials, dinner specials, breakfast specials, showing these different ones at different times of day. But otherwise, these are probably their big sellers. And so kudos, this is big. This helps out from the conversions on a restaurant site a lot. Of course, they've got their Join Rewards program. This is also a really, really big deal for restaurant websites. They had that here as well, so that's pretty much very similar. Otherwise, I think, as we go down here, the rest of the site is pretty much the same, just different fonts, different colors. So all in all, relatively the same website as before. It is a big refresh. They are using a lot more of these darker colors, which I don't know if they'll help out or not. So if I had to pick on something, I'd have to say, let's get our logo a little bigger. Let's change these fonts so they're a little bit more obvious. Obviously, most people are probably going to be on mobile devices when they're coming to this website. But let's deal with these fonts a little better. And I think that they probably could have done a little bit better with their side menu, this is going to be the mobile menu as well. Probably could do a little bit better on that. But I think that overall, as far as the functionality and getting conversions, this site is probably works just as well as the previous website, possibly a little bit more because they're showing product. But I think that there's a small items here and there as they test this out that can improve conversions on this and continue moving forward for a positive customer experience. Okay, hope this helps a little bit for those of you who are looking at how do I make my restaurant site better. This is a review on Cracker Barrel after all of the crazy stuff they've had going on. And that's about it. Thanks, y'all. Hope you enjoyed.